Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Matters That Matter. I'm Simran and I'm in a conversation with my mentor, Susie Singh. So, in our video titled What is Love? We discussed what is the true essence or the true interpretation of love. And we saw a very deafening silence after that video, Susie, because maybe because the truth is hard for people to digest, or maybe there is a resistance to accepting something that goes against one's conditioning about a certain topic. So, today I want to ask you everything that you said in that video about love, how can that translate into our daily lives? What does love in action look like?
So I'd like to ask you a question, Simran. Um, if your boyfriend told you that he wanted to go to a game of cricket with his friends, um, and you don't like the game, what do you think is going to be a likely response?
Well, I think a lot of girlfriends would be upset, would feel neglected, or probably not important enough in their boyfriend's lives for them to make plans without them.
Yeah, so there would be a very universal response is to start getting clingy, start getting upset and agitated
Yeah.
about it, and insist that because I don't like the game, why can't you cancel out? Feeling upset, and they could have a sort of meltdown over this issue. Now,
Hmm.
the loving thing in this situation would actually be to give your partner some space.
Yeah.
This whole idea of respecting their song or their tune or the things that they like or enjoy doing is about letting them have the freedom to
Hmm.
want to do the things they want to do, whether it's visiting their friends
Hmm.
on the odd day. You might want to have a sort of girls' night out or go on a road trip with your girlfriends.
Yeah.
And he should be okay with that. You should be okay with him going for a game of cricket.
Yeah.
Very often, I also find that, young couples who are not married, they get very upset. They want to spend every moment outside of their workspaces together, and it gets really clingy into each other's spaces. And if either partner needs to spend that day invested with the family, with his or her parents, the other partner sort of gets upset about it, and then it becomes me versus them. Now, that is not
Right.
allowing space.
Hmm.
This becomes even more predominant in marriage. A
Hmm.
lot of couples come back with this issue about how the husband is spending time with his parents
Hmm.
or his widowed mother.
Hmm.
And that starts making the wife insecure. She starts worrying about, why is he spending so much time? What are they talking about? Now, her anxiety is real and natural. But the loving thing to do is to understand that there will always be a parent child bond, and that bond must be given space to breathe. So, if any one partner is beginning to feel um, clingy about the other person, which prevents them from doing the things that they want to, or being fully present, showing up in the relationships that matter or the events that matter to them,
Hmm.
then that is not being loving. What you need to do in such a way, or how can you be loving in such a situation, is actually to recognize that there is some fear arising in me when my
Hmm.
partner wants to spend time away from me,
Yeah.
and to address that anxiety in me. If need be, also call it out to your partner and say, the story in my head is that you'll go and have such a good time with them, and I'm going to be sitting here feeling lonely and miserable. If that's the
Hmm.
story in your head, or whatever it is the story in your head, for
Yeah.
that you need to be in touch with your own feelings.
Hmm.
And then you need to find and fill your time with something that you enjoy doing,
Hmm.
instead of hoping that he's going to fill that vacuum of time in your life, and therefore he can't do what he needs to do because you need him to be present in your life and to babysit you. That's not fair.
Yeah.
That's not a loving thing to do. So can you see how it's really important to allow the loving space, whether it's about going shopping with the family, or whether it's letting your partner sit with his parent or her parent, or whether it is going and spending some time away from the relationship with your friends and investing that time, because those are also old precious bonds that need to be maintained.
Yeah.
Then there is the second issue of practicing Restraint when you have the meltdowns, when you have the conflicts, when you have the fights. Now, what do you think normally happens if you're feeling agitated about this thing? Let's say we take the same example that your partner's gone and spent too much time doing what he needs to do, and you're feeling
Hmm.
neglect. The natural thing would be to do what?
Well, start a fight generally is
Have an
passive aggression.
altercation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
passive
lot of
aggression
tension.
and blaming each other and saying, oh
Yeah.
my God, you don't care about me. You let
Hmm.
me down. I'm so lonely. I'm so miserable. Now, when there is a conflict
Hmm.
based on anything or triggered, brought on by anything, it
Hmm.
is very important for you to do the loving thing, which is walk away. No good can come out of that interaction, that engagement when you're agitated. The only thing you can do is hurt each other. And that is
Hmm.
not a loving thing. So walk away, find
Hmm.
some space for yourself to get in touch with your own anger or upset or whatever. Ask yourself why you're feeling so terrible.
Hmm.
Get into the issue that is bothering you. Make peace with it. And then when your partner has cooled off and you've cooled off, sit down, talk about it in an amicable and civil way without blaming each other,
Yeah.
so that you can set some rules going forward. He can understand your perspective, you can understand your partner's perspective, and you can agree to do things differently in a manner that is more peaceful and does not trigger each other.
Right.
Right? So
Hmm.
that is the second thing. Practice restraint when you are conflicted. The third one is very important because very often we feel that when we love someone, it just means that we should give to them.
Yeah.
But it's equally important to receive
Hmm.
because love is a two-way passage, it's a two-way flow.
Hmm.
So ask for your needs to be met.
Right.
So let's say you've had this conflict and you're feeling that you're not getting enough of what you need.
Hmm.
Have the courage to go ask for your needs to be met in a very specific way. This is extremely important because
Right.
often what happens is that when couples either give feedback or they are complaining, they tend to say, you don't love me, you don't care for me, you neglect me, I feel so lonely, you don't understand me. Now, we have to understand that these are such generic conversations that it becomes very difficult for the partner to appreciate. He or she does not know, listen, what is expected of me? What is it that I need to do so that my partner feels loved?
Yeah.
So instead, perhaps what you can say is, I would like you to hug me more often. I
Hmm.
need more intimacy.
Hmm.
I need you to make the morning cup of tea because I cook all the meals through the day and I feel very loved when you bring me that morning cup of tea.
Hmm.
Or I feel we're not talking enough and I'm the kind of person that I feel connected. My connection with you becomes deeper when we share and talk and have conversations. So can we schedule and spend uh, 15 to 20 minutes just by ourselves talking and sharing every day? So in this way now you've been very specific about your needs. Your partner knows what to do more of, what to do less of,
Hmm.
and you understand each other's language. It is now easy to deliver on this list or on this ask.
Right.
And you can see that if we don't get this specific, then
Hmm.
he doesn't know what to do. She
Yeah.
continues to feel hurt and upset. And
Hmm.
that is not going to create a loving thing in the relationship or a loving energy in the relationship. So the loving thing in this case will be ask very specifically for your needs to be met. There's a fourth issue, which is we must honor cultural biases or cultural beliefs. Now,
Hmm.
a simple thing is, for example, in some families, you may have grown up thinking that we don't eat non-veg on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And in other families where it is that norm has not been followed, the partner could get very upset or offended, or he could treat it frivolously or remark or say something which hurts the sentiment of the person who believes in that. So if
Right.
you find that your partner has certain cultural beliefs, don't run them down, just honor them. It's
Hmm.
okay. And that's the whole process of allowing them to be who they are and believing in what they believe,
Hmm.
which means you sacrifice your opinion or you sacrifice your desire to negate that belief and say this is wrong, all days are equal, how does it matter which day you eat non-veg? That should be avoided. And there could be
Right.
simple things like some people have seen they like to bless their food before
Hmm.
they eat it, and or say a little prayer, and everyone will turn around and maybe if you laugh at them or you make a joke out of it or treat it lightly, you might think that I am just making a joke out of it. Why are you getting so oversensitive? But that person's serious
Hmm.
sentiment is getting offended,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, very, very important that we do not run down each other's cultural beliefs
Hmm.
and that we actually, the loving thing is to honor them
As they are.
as they are.
Hmm.
I mean, to honor those beliefs. This gets very, very important, particularly when both the partners come from different religious backgrounds.
Yeah.
Then bridging the gap can be really tough because it becomes about celebrations and festivities and very
Hmm.
sacred things that one might believe in, the other might not. I've had people turn around and say that I don't know why my wife does this arti and puja in the evening and it's so silly. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in it.
Hmm.
And I tell this person, I said, how does it matter if she believes it? And if you love her, can
Yeah.
you not just participate in it? You don't have to have that same sacred sentiment, but by honoring her belief, she feels accepted. She feels loved. So just honor those cultural beliefs. And last, and what I think is the most important thing in a loving relationship, learn to drop it.
Hmm.
We have a tendency, all of us, I think, that the stories in our head, particularly the ones that hurt us, but the ones that break down the harmony in the relationship, they tend to get sticky in us. We take a very
Yeah.
long time and we want to argue it and we want to discuss it and we want to go to the heart of it and, deconstruct it in so many ways,
Hmm.
get down to pulling each thread apart. But that
Yeah.
is really undoing the fabric of love.
Hmm.
So, how do you drop something? Like you drop a ball. You just drop it and say, okay, I'm done with this. I don't want to invest any more time and energy. And I don't want to try and figure things out. Because if it's a difference of beliefs, let's say,
Yeah.
you're never going to win the battle about whose belief is right or
Yeah.
which ritual is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. We just allow it. We say, okay, if it's important to you, I'll do it. So
Right.
just drop it and move on. Drop it and move on. That's the most powerful and loving thing to do in a relationship is drop the story in your head, drop the conflict and move on. So I
Right.
think these are some of the ways that I think these are really important ones because we get afflicted by these every day and they really destroy the harmony and love in relationships.
Hmm. Thank you so much, Susie, for giving us very specific examples on what love looks like when it is in action in our daily lives. For a better understanding on what is the true essence of love and what are the errors we generally make in our understanding of love, you can watch our videos titled What is Love and Why Love Hurts. If you like this video, then please subscribe to this channel for more such videos in the future. Thank you for watching.